Yep, you know what time it is. It's been a long time coming, but we back, man, full strong, just like the television show. Welcome back, Carter. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. What's going on? The full 180 is back on the scene. Hope you had a good time, man. We call it vacation break. You know how teachers take a vacation break and people go on vacation. We took a vacation. Chill out, get our thoughts together, man, and get back to it with some real good content and some real good context. Of course, when I got the family here, couldn't do it without them, of course. And we're gonna get right into a couple of things that you ain't did in a minute. But if this is your first time on here, man, you want to make sure you introduce you to the whole family. Look, in the top left hand corner, you see none other than Mr. C. Carrot, aka Mr. DJ Legend. At the bottom, we call her Little Webby. It's the story behind that. She's a Webster, the dictionary. No other than this December, she will be known as officially Dr. Bree Ann Miller. Along with Miss Roy, she is actually in the hospital. Keep her in your prayers, man. She has some things going on, and she'll be back soon, soon, soon. Let's run through a couple things real quick. Want to holler at Unique as you are jewelry. That's right, man. This is a new fashion line going on in DF Dub. Leather earrings, comedian and teacher. That's her. And I'm talking about none other than that Delta Girl 6. She's not really a Delta, but she's my cousin, Miss Keneal Wilson. Holler at her. She got the clothing line. I'm trying to get her on so she can show some of her clothing that she has and that she's selling. It's very, very influential, and it's for the modern woman. So shout out to Miss Keneal Wilson about that. Of course, you know the T-shirt line is going in full blast. It's on here. Bree and Charles, I got y'all one. You know what I'm saying? So we good. I got y'all one. C. Carey got one too. I need one with your shirt, bro. But the T-shirt line is definitely here, man. Lil Wavy came out to Harlow. We got a picture. I didn't get a chance to download it, but I can snap it up later, show you what it looked like, man. We live full force. So the Tricky brand is growing. Shout out to Miss Christner, aka K Cox, aka She Killer. Hey Bree, I met somebody just as lethal as you, like for real. Oh it is? Oh, my bad. Well, you know, people just, you know, when y'all do it, it just stops me because I'll be like, what are they talking about? Is that better?
Yeah, you good.
All right, cool. Shout out to K Cox, man, for handling the business for me. I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna send y'all. I'll put a T-shirt link in the actual chat, and then if you want to order a T-shirt, you definitely can. Don't forget Fridays. You know, my brother's out there, Flavor Fridays. He keeping the flavor going on at Cafe Firewood Daiquiri. Say, boy, I seen the video you posted. I'm about to catch a Friday for sure.
It was
They
pretty
out there
crowded.
doing some things, man. Yeah, real crunks. So please make sure if you're in the Garland area, if you ain't got nothing to do, make that trip. Go holler at my bro at the Cafe Firewood Daiquiri Shop. This we do second and fourth Wednesday. So yeah, this will be the Wednesday for karaoke live at Michael's, hosted by the Z Factor, of course, me on the ones and twos. Please come out and hang out. It's 8 to 11. 8 to 11. Listen to when I say 8 to 11, because when 10:45 hits, it's over. Gotta go. Gotta get out of there. We want to make sure that everybody knows that when they come out there to do the karaoke, man. Other than that, man, Poachella, this is where we are. The festival is August 4th through the 7th. Yours truly will be at the Lorenz Hotel. If you have not been to the Lorenz Hotel, you need to check it out for sure, for sure. If you want to book a hotel to stay there, just make sure you go to www.coachella.com. The DJs there will be none other than Tone Deaf. DJ Bolada will be in the mix. What you see in green is what they will actually perform, the things that they will actually be DJing at the actual Coachella. Of course, me, I'll be doing the Blindfold Slam, the main stage, the Go Party, and of course, Fluid Fridays, man. If you never had a Fluid Friday, you got to come check this out. My homegirl DJ Crush will be in the building, holding it down, man, with all these fabulous out in season Mr. Don, and of course Nova, and man, it's gonna be in Paloma. If you never heard her sing, Lil Webby can tell she is what it is. But yeah, we'll be doing Fluid Fridays, man, hosted by Crush. And then we'll have the Pajama Jammy Jam Coachella at the Lorenz Hotel. We're also putting together a day party poolside. Poolside. Day party poolside. When I tell you it's going to be live, it's going to be live. I'll put the actual lineup later. Of course, this Sunday will be July 31st. We live day party on the patio at Postino. Other than that, that's about that's going on, man. That's not the quote I want to use, but this one would be. So today's quote is to be liberated and truly experience peace. Sometimes we just have to lose that part of our minds holding on to old thoughts, things, places, and people who don't deserve to be in that space. Give yourself permission to release and let it go. Thought that'd be perfect for what we're discussing today, man. Hey, but look, let's break the ice. We ain't did it in so long, so I thought it'd be cool to do today. Y'all with it? We can do a little hell yeah, hell nah. I'm gonna give you two because I know I want to jump into the topic real quick. So let's see what I got here. Let's see. All right, here we go.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now. Because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house, but until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
So what we think? Hell yeah or man nah?
Well, I didn't really hear anything. It went out.
Oh.
I've heard the sermon, but I didn't hear anything right now.
Oh, well, if you didn't hear it, nobody else heard it. Let's see then.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now.
Yes.
Because we are raising up women to be men.
And then it went out. It's going
and
out.
You are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house, but until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
So did everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So what we think? Hell yeah, hell nah?
I agree.
Go ahead.
In today's society, I don't want to say it's frowned upon, but more women are pursuing their careers, being more goal-oriented, which is nothing wrong with that. But because the drawback of that is losing the femininity and gaining more masculine characteristics and bringing that home. There's nothing wrong with being a boss out here in these streets. We just have to learn how to dial it back a little bit when we're at home.
That makes sense because at first I was about to say, sometimes we forced into it. I have a crazy little story. The other day I went to the post office. I ordered a big frame for my bed, and I have a king size bed. And of course they didn't want to deliver it to the house because I'm on the 3rd floor. And so I had to go to, yeah.
I said, ooh.
So I had to go to the post office, and I didn't think it was that big. I thought they were gonna break down the pieces a little bit more to where, you can carry it. But I just so happened to go by the post office to get it. The postal dude wouldn't bring it outside. I drug it outside and dropped it on the curb. And this lady came out. Sorry, my dog was playing with a balloon and busted it. But all these men kept coming in and out of the post office, not wanting to help me. And so this lady finally came out. She was like, Girl, let me help you with that. Because all these men just keep walking by and they're not even helping you. We're going to pop this thing in this trunk and we keep it moving. And I just thought about that. I was just like, I feel like sometimes women are forced to take on those, this is just like an isolated event, but it's like sometimes women are forced to take on those things. But then like Wavy said, we can be a boss out in these streets, we can get things done, you know what I'm saying? But then when we get home to our men, we have to learn how to dial it back. So with that, I left that thing in my car, and when my guy got to my house the next day, he pulled it out of my car, he brought it upstairs and put it all together for me. He was like, I wouldn't have allowed you to do that anyways. So you gotta balance it,
Yeah, them dudes,
Okay.
them guys that was going in out there, they wasn't no gentlemen. They wasn't nobody, that just, I don't know. I just don't see why nobody didn't stop and help you. For one, that didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But no, I agree with everything y'all was saying. It's just sometimes you got dial it back. You can't have it like the other time. I guess because more women are independent too. So it's gonna automatically create them to do that anyway. That masculinity and things like that make them feel like that. So, man, that was a good little quote right there, G.
Cool. Last one. Let's go.
Listen, I just want to put this out here real quick. And I feel like I've said this so many times, but it keep missing folk. So I'm going to come back with it one more time. And I'm going to say this right here. Either prioritize me or leave me the hell alone. One or the other. What you will not do is you're not going to drag me alone until you find what you're looking for. You're not going to give me false hope. You're not going to give me no false sense of responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? You're going to try to have me do relationship things while not being in a relationship with you. If you're not able to claim me, you're not able to love me out loud, if you're not able to be to me the person that I'm willing to be to you, then do me a favor. Then get the hell out my face. Please and thank you. That's just where I'm at with things, you know what I'm saying? And that's period. That's on every relationship, friendship, family ship, job ship, situation ship, communication ship, whatever ship that anybody is on. Either be real, be transparent, be open and honest with me, or get out my face. Because see, I'm strong, I'm real heavy on the just say that. Just say what it is so I can govern myself accordingly. Thank you.
All right. What seat we had yet? Man, now. Where we at?
Absolutely.
Very true. Very true. Like she said, whatever ship you want.
What you say? What you say?
I said, go ahead. I said, your face, $1 million. Love it. Go ahead, Bree, what you were saying.
No, I was feeling her when she said, whatever ship you own, either be real, be transparent, say what's on your mind. I was at a job today and we were talking about the type of leadership styles we like. Just tell me, don't beat around the bush and BS and waste my time. Tell me what it is and what it ain't so we can move on.
Right. And I know we talk about this a lot in relationships, but in friendships too. Just a homegirl. One of my homegirls and I keep this very brief. She, with another friend of hers, she was saying she realized over time she was the only one reaching out. Every time she looked up to call this, to have any type of communication with this other lady, she was not, she was the one having to do it. Or when she would ask, hey, you want to go hang out? No, I can't. But then she'll see pictures posted that she hung out with somebody else.
Huh.
That's hurtful.
Yeah, you might just be straightforward and say, I don't want to go nowhere with you.
I don't want to be your friend.
Is that what she really was saying, though?
I'll tell you about that later. It wasn't me, but I've been in situations like that when you find yourself with a homegirl and you realize, dang, I'm the only one that's calling and seeing how you doing. And every time I talk to you, oh, well, such. Then you look on Facebook, Instagram, and they out here dropping it wide and spreading it low.
So that whole thing remind me of have y'all seen The Shy?
Oh yeah.
So it's one of the shows. Basically, the chick who had the baby who got kidnapped or whatever, whatnot. Yeah, so she was that's it. She was dealing with a cool dude who was really into her, but she told him to cut him. She cut him out. Talking about she just need to spend time with her and her son, and just get her and her son together. The next episode, Everett and his baby mama going through it, and now she back with Everett.
They not together.
Yes, they are. The
They
last
said
one she cooked the whole 5-course meal.
I
You
just got
cook
through
like
watching
that?
the episode. They just
You cook
friends.
like that? Girl, friends, hell. Friends don't cook like that for friends. I don't care who you talk about.
they smashed at the end.
Trust me.
At the end of
Thank
the
you,
day,
bro.
they smashed at the
Emmett
end.
is
Thank you,
on a
bro.
40-day celibacy hiatus.
No, they smashed at the end. I
Bro,
seen
it
the episode
don't
today.
matter.
I ain't finished it yet.
Oh, well, you be all right. Keep watching it. But it does not matter.
No.
You know, so here a dude who want to be with you, be your partner, and you dismiss him, quote unquote, the too nice dude, to get back with with this dude.
Yeah,
And then you
Okay, so
you
playing
was talking
devil's
to his baby mama first.
But
devil's
go ahead. I know where
advocate.
she's gonna go with this.
Advocate, she gave him a long explanation, and she let him know, like, hey, we can be friends or we can not be friends, but I don't see you in that other way. So she cut him off. She could have just kept dragging him along and letting him be the nice guy and helping her with her baby and all the other stuff, knowing that she wasn't interested in being in a relationship with him.
So was she wrong for that, for being honest with him and telling him she didn't like him like that?
So you telling me you didn't have them thoughts a month after? You had them 3 months after?
But we don't know that.
Man, come on, man. Y'all be 100. Be 100.
Okay, I'll be 100 with you.
Because you say yourself to me, we gonna get out this. You say to me all the time. It's just some people out here who don't want to be married. They just want to play reindeer games and be cool with it.
True.
But when you meet me, you ain't saying that.
Okay, you want to keep it 100? We sure can. I went on a date with this guy, and you know who kept asking me about my stimulus check. First of all, that one. We just gonna call him stimulus check.
A stimulus check.
Bro,
I'll tell you about it.
We gotta talk about it offline, bro.
Talk about the whole story later. Went on a date with stimulus check. I wasn't feeling it, but we finished the date or whatever. Gave him a hug, drove off, went home, and the next day he called. And I was like, well, no, he texted. I'm sorry. He did not call. He texted. He said, you only responded to me when I reached out to you first. But I don't even know why he said that, but whatever. And I said, you know what? I had a really nice time on the date, but I'm not interested in you. But you have a nice life. And his response was, thank you for being honest with me. You good?
See?
But okay, Greg, but
we didn't go 2 months, 3 months, and I'm out here paying for dates, and we acting like a couple. And when you knew all the time, this really ain't what you want.
But see, that's what I'm about to say. She didn't really know what she wanted. She kind of wanted him, but she didn't. Because if you remember the conversation she was having with Emmy baby mama on her name, she was smiling like she really liked him, but she didn't really feel like she could be in a relationship with him. She likes him. She's just not ready for the relationship.
She wasn't a relationship. She wasn't ready for a relationship with him. She'd rather be here with her friend. It's more
right.
Like it wasn't like she wanted.
But up to
or some of y'all just used to dating raggedy niggas. Excuse my French. Raggedy dude. Some people just used to the dudes in the streets. You ain't ready for the educated. I got my own this and that. Some dudes are intimidated by women like that. Some women are intimidated by dudes like that. When you meet a dude and you can't fix him, then you don't know what to do. But why do you need to try to fix every dude?
Well, some people like projects. Men do it too.
Of course, and that's why I said both ways. Women, I didn't say one way.
I didn't.
Lady, both ways. You know what? Look, just because. I'm so tired. March is over. I'm so tired of March, man. Look, if you go to NASA, don't sit on NASA. Yeah, go to stimulus check. Sorry, it's a funny story though.
Man, that's
I'll tell you about it.
That's
yeah. So let's go and jump into it since we already hot and on it, man. So look, what we need to know is how secure are you? How secure are you? How secure? And it's based upon what we call, and I'll actually put the link so you can actually take the test. It's a personality test. 2 personality tests that you can actually take, and you can find out just how secure you really are. If you're on the chat, I've actually put it in the chat, and I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of what we've discovered. And of course, I'll use me as the guinea pig. And we all took the test because I wanted everybody to do it. So it says, so we always talk about love languages, love languages, love languages, love languages. Well, what is your attachment style concerning when it concerns love languages, right? All right, so there's four attachment styles have several defining characteristics. So secure attachment basically is the healthiest attachment style of the four being identified. What it states is signs of a secure attachment include reacting well to stress, the ability to regulate emotion, enhanced communication skills, good self-esteem, the capability to form trusting relationships. Trusting relationships, right? It says, as children, securely attached people feel safe to explore the world and try new things independently. They form good interpersonal relationships with other children and solve problems. Okay, so my first question is, before I pop up my results and we walk through the other three, do any of y'all think that you are secure? Like top notch, nothing but like you're secure with yourself, with things that you go through in life, like you're secure. Based upon what these say, is reacting well to stress, the ability to regulate emotions, enhance communication skills, good self-esteem, and the capability to form trusting relationships.
It took a process. Now I'm not 100%. No, I don't think I'm not 100%, but and it also depends on what scenario we're talking about as well. But for the most part, in recent times, I feel very secure with things that are going on.
Okay. Anybody else?
Me too. Now in my past, if I would have taken this probably 5-6 years ago, I don't know which attachment style I would have been in. But I'm not gonna share my results just yet, but I think I am secure as well.
Caesar,
well,
my brother.
From what I've been through and everything, I'm more secure because just by when I went through my therapy and everything, I just felt I had things I had to work on, but it wasn't me. So I knew I was secure in myself and secure with any type of situation at your job, relationship, anything, those type of things. But on my results said I was secure. So maybe in my early 20s when I was doing that little phase, there was probably be different answers, but now I'm secure.
So what I have to say to that is, ain't none of y'all secure, especially your boy. And as much as people think I have it together, I can honestly tell you I don't. But this is why I said, now I'm not taking away from your answer. That is your answer. But the reason why I thought that would be funny. But the reason why I said that is I am someone actually thinks that I'm very secure. I'm very secure with my emotions. I'm secure about my business, how things that I do. However, of course, like I say, I'm always gonna walk into the fire before y'all. I took both tests, and these are my results from these tests, right? And after I give you my results, if y'all like to give y'all can, and then we'll walk through all three, the other three of the actual insecure things that they have that they talk about, and we can discuss them and define them for our audience, right? And those that are watching, first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Make sure you share it, and make sure you take the test. Send it to a loved one, a brother, a sister, whatever the case may be, just so they can find out just how secure they truly are. And I thought about this because a lot of people we know walk around like nothing phases them, but when the lights are off and dark and it's quiet, it's a whole nother ball game when you're dealing with when you in your own head, in your space by yourself. Or as my uncle would say, I know who you are when you're in public. Who are you when no one's watching? I'm gonna let you think about that. So mine is avoidance of closeness. So I'm 39%. And what it says is whether it involves emotional expression or developing a deep, intimate bond, you're the type of person who is very at ease getting close to a partner. You are also comfortable relying on your partner when necessary. as well as having him or her dependent upon you in times of need. The second test that goes along with this, I'll actually put that in the link too, so you can take it. As it states, as a securely attached person, you're most likely natural, warm, and friendly. In general, you feel comfortable comfortable and at ease in relationships and don't experience many concerns around your ability to connect with others. Most of the time, you're good at communicating your needs and feelings and letting others into your intimate space because you're confident in who you are. However, but here's where you might struggle. Technically, you should be a great candidate for a happy, healthy relationship. But unfortunately, that's not always what happens. That's because if your loved one has a different attachment style than you might have a hard time understanding their needs and desires, and can end up feeling frustrated, anxious, and stuck in a relationship that doesn't make you feel good about yourself. But when you understand why a loved one acts the way that they do, everything in your relationship can change. So I'm gonna tell you why at first I was like, hell nah. But this is so true. I am that person. Tell me what we doing. And if this is what we doing, then okay. The first time you make a U-turn, I'm confused. Because I went by what you said, because you said this is what we was doing, and now we're doing something else. That is true. I do struggle in that area. I have caught myself stuck in relationships that I should have walked away from. Of course, my mother can attest to that, but hopefully she won't do it right now. And let's see. Because your loved one has a different attachment style. Now, the only thing I didn't necessarily agree with was because when he said it has a different attachment style than you. This is why, and y'all can correct me and we can move forward. And y'all can show y'all results. Because they always say you need to find somebody that's different than you. What I mean by that, if I am the extrovert, then I need to find somebody that's maybe an extrovert but an introvert and know how to be the calm. Like Lil Webby said to me yesterday, and it was perfect. I meant to write it down about being the calm to the storm. You know what I'm saying? Like having somebody a calm to their storm. So it's kind of like you are the opposite of that person, where they are anxious and neurotic. You normally see things as, okay, let's sit down, let's talk, let's do this, let's figure it out, take a deep breath, and move on. So, go ahead. I am wanting to know how you guys fared on the actual test.
I actually got the similar results, except for my percentage is at a 32. But it reads the same way on both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much all of it, from especially my past. But when it says when you understand why a loved one acts the way they do, the relationship can change. I think that's very, very true. And that's where, we always push communication. That is so very true. When you can really sit down and speak with someone and talk about why they may feel and act the way they do, especially coming from, past situations. If they're, you can really check yourself. And in checking yourself, that energy can help the other person check themselves. And so, like you said, where one person may be very calm, very cool, very collected, and the other person may be more of a firecracker, they can kind of balance each other out. And then it can go both ways. Sometimes I'm a firecracker, and sometimes I'm very calm. And it just, you have to be able to balance each other out. When I'm going off the chain, then my guy knows, because we talk, he knows how to bring me back, and vice versa.
So, Webby, I want you to ask a question, but I'm gonna add this onto it. So, let's say I know you in that situation now. You have that situation where somebody's the calm to your anxiety, but in the beginning, when that was happening, how did you deal with it? Because you was like, if he's telling you to calm down, do you ever get in your head like, who the hell you talking to? You don't tell me to calm down. I got stuff going on. I got real life going on. Da, 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 da. So how do you handle that if you get that type of situation? Answer that along with your results, man. Please.
Which one do you want first?
Do your results, girl. Get these results.
Okay,
We
so
want
I
to be live.
took a different test, but I also am securely attached, but my answers read just a tad bit differently. So like you all, it does say that I feel safe and comfortable when connecting with others, which I've never had a problem meeting no strangers. Anybody that knows me knows that. I walk up to you, start talking to you in the grocery store. Girl, you about them lime tortilla chips, girl, they good. And you done had a whole conversation plus a recipe.
But don't walk up on her, please don't.
Not from behind.
Go ahead.
I tell you, I story about that another day. Consistent emotional and physical support as a child. Yes, my parents, even though I did not live with both of them, they were still very consistent in showing me love and things like that. But here is my challenge. It says my secondary attachment style gets triggered and I can become anxious and avoidant. Probably more anxious than avoidant. Well, I don't know. They may run neck and neck depending on the situation, but I have the tendency to get very anxious. And then my mind is going, and then I've created a whole scenario with a plot twist, and you're the protagonist, and you're the antagonist, and I'm the protagonist because I'm pretty sure you've done something. But yeah, or ended up in a ditch somewhere.
So how do you there go the word ditch. That's what I was waiting on. I don't know, somebody showed in the ditch somewhere dead.
Hello?
Lord have mercy. I wish Desiree, I just need you to confirm that.
She in the living room ain't paying me no attention.
But so how do you deal with that, knowing that's you, but then you got this calm now? Were you I guess what I'm looking for, were you resistant towards it?
They didn't know it.
Why they didn't know it?
Because I didn't want to come off as the crazy person in the beginning of the relationship. And so I would sit in my own thoughts and be like, okay, am I tripping? But what happened is it came out in other situations when probably I should have discussed those things early on, but I just was trying to have a good control of my emotions, which several months later came out over being in the sun too long.
Yeah, I don't know, dude, too. See murder, go let me know. What's your results, brother?
Mine was on the first little quiz, it was 22. It kind of had pretty much the same thing everybody else was, but for me, with me, where I've actually changed is that I actually speak my mind now, what's on my mind, and tell you what's up. In the beginning, I wouldn't do that. I'll hold back and wait till everything blow up and then I'll go off. But now, hey, if it's something triggered, I'll let you know what it is, and I'm going to communicate it better. Because I really wasn't a good communicator in the past. Now I learned to communicate more. I'm more secure in myself because I'm like, hey, just with any relationship, whatever you're doing behind doors is gonna come out anyway. So my similar things everybody else had, but it was pretty good. Them questions was pretty easy. They was pretty not easy, but they was like someone were kind of tricky too.
Yeah, I said that too. I was like, okay, I agree with the first part, but I didn't agree with the last part.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this, bro, and then we're gonna move on to the other part of this. How did you, besides therapy, get to the point of feeling comfortable with expressing your mind? Like what work did you put in? Because that takes work, and in the words of Webby, effort.
Yeah,
to realize you have that problem.
It took work. It really came out with therapy though. You know what I'm saying? Those were, things I learned about myself. I had to look at myself and be like, well, you didn't say this when you should have said something, but then you didn't say nothing. And the other person didn't know how you was feeling at that time. And then when you blow up, it makes a big argument and it makes tension between both people. And so that's where I pretty much, like my relationship now, I can actually communicate with Kenyatta, and she communicates me back, and we sit there and listen to each other without both of us overbearing each other. We listen. We sit there and listen. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me more comfortable just coming out telling her everything. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what I don't like, or just being straightforward, in a relationship. Because like I said, it's communication. You have to communicate. There's so many ways to communicate, but you got to communicate. If you don't communicate, don't say nothing, how the other person gonna know how you feel or what's going on in your head?
That part.
So okay. So with that being said, now it I believe everybody had something said avoidance, or it said avoidance, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, avoidance. So avoidance is one of the actual 4 attachment styles. Now, I will give you a brief description. We can discuss it. So the avoidant insecure attachment. Basically, some of us, actually, not some of us, all of us have this issue. What it is that those with an avoidant attachment style struggle with physical and emotional intimacy. I'm going to come back to that because I don't agree with that. They may have had absent caregivers, like Weber said, or they may have been expected to be independent even when they were young. Some people with an avoidant attachment style were told off for depending on their caregivers and rejected when they expressed their needs and emotions. Signs of an avoidant attachment style can include a strong sense of independence, being dismissive of others, finding it difficult to trust people, believing that they do not need others, feeling threatened by those who try to get close to them. Many people with this attachment style can feel as though their partners or friends are suffocating them if they try to get close or encourage them to open up emotionally. It is estimated that 25% of adults have this attachment. Now, I'm not going to agree. Now, let's go back to this whole those with an avoidant attachment style struggle with physical and emotional intimacy. Do y'all struggle with that?
I used to.
Okay.
When I was a little bit younger, I think this is after my first marriage. I would even say sometime before that. I can't even remember exactly how long it was, but I didn't like to be hugged and touched and shake hands, and I didn't like talking about personal stuff. I had trouble making friends because I didn't want to get too wrapped up in their lives, because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with their emotional stuff. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. I remember going to church, beeline into the car. Like, I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? And I like I said, I don't remember how it started, but for a very long time, I did have that issue. But for me, it was from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. Once I got past it, now it was more of, I needed to be touched. I needed to be emotionally attached. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so just maybe in the last 15 years, I've about last 10, 15 years, I've been able to, overcome some of that, a lot of it actually, in the healing process.
Anybody else? Hello.
No, I'm more on the anxious side of it. So
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So the other parts of this that I thought that was interesting, and I'm referring to me, when I say you may have had absent caregivers, or they may have been expected to be independent even when they were young. Some people with an avoidant attachment style were told off depending on their caregivers and rejected when they expressed their needs and emotions. So I'll tell you a real good story. Why I say some of it. So I was talking to Slim Thick doing the test, and I told her, I said, yeah, I'm probably the first 4, not the last one. And this is the reason why I say that. Never forget, I was in college. And real quick story, needed something to get home with my car. My father had told me, and don't be mad at it, if I needed something to call him. Cool. So I called him, and I was looking forward to coming home, and all of a sudden it was just like, oh, well, you good, you can stay there. What? I was confused. Like, this is not what you said. And I can admit now in my older age, I was probably being a little apprehensive or selfish or whatever when I did it. But when he said that, it was like, oh, okay. So I found another way to get it done. So I got it done. And I never forget walking through the front. I was at home sitting at the kitchen table, and my mom was on the couch. I'm in the kitchen table. He walked in and said, hey, what you doing here? I said, it wasn't because of you. That was a young and dumb attitude at the time. But it was just like, so at that point, I was at that point in my world where, like, I can only depend on me. And I'm saying that I even struggled with that even when I was married. My biggest thing I knew I had to get over was now I have to trust somebody that if I say, hey, will you go get my clothes from the cleaners? They're going to go do it. I had a problem with that. And I ain't gonna say I'm fully over that. But it's like once you show me what it is, then I'll revert right back to that and won't ask you for nothing. So I know that relates to me. I can't, and some people want to say, Webby, it's an only child thing. No, it ain't no only child thing. I know people that have parents in their life forever, but they don't call their mom them for nothing. It's whatever. I know dudes who dads are very well off and live in DeSoto, but he found his own way. He didn't want nothing from his folks. So I thought about that. So, Webby, I know you very strong and independent. So do any of these characteristics relate to you?
Well, yeah, they do, but those were, it didn't rear from my childhood. That's why I initially had said no. My parents were always there. They were there for the beginning of my young adult life. It was after I got divorced and found out who friends were and weren't. And then I had to realize, the only person I can depend on is me. So then that turned on that self-reliance that I didn't know that I possessed. So that came later on. So that's why I was like, well, no, because my parents didn't make me feel like I had to be independent at a very young age. So that came as an adult.
So Caesar, with her being said, that good segue, thank you, Webby. Bro, because I think about you when I hear that being independent at a young age, because you were basically the man amongst 3 women.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like you had to be a whole lot in such a quick time. How did you handle that, and what did you do to overcome that or to just maintain it?
Well, pretty much, I don't know if y'all know. Well, I know you know Greg, but my dad passed away when I was 5. So when he passed away, pretty much you could say I had to grow up fast and do man things around the house, things like that. I did look at other males to get little things from them, but my mama, she was still, she raised me be good. She, told me different things as for a boy. She probably know everything, but for me, I think I mostly had common sense. I figured things out. That's the type of kid I was. Since I was I was the only boy in the house. Hell, I didn't have no other, male. I didn't have no brother, nothing like that. So I had to do things on my own and figure out things on my own. And as far as me kind of overcoming it, it was more like a common sense thing, because I seen so many things, like when my sister had their boyfriends, or when my mom did find somebody and he was no good, he was drunk, different stuff like that. I know I didn't want to be like that, so it made me just consciously think about things. Like when I met you, when I met Daddy, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How he was, I was like, okay, he worked hard, take care of his family. I might not want to do what he did on other situations, but I could use those things to help me out. And for some reason, I don't know, some guys get it, some guys don't. For some reason, since I did live with all women, I kind of learned that women intuition too. I don't know how, but I learned it. You know, so it was like, that was just how I grew up. But I had to grow up fast. I had to be a man of the house because I was the man of the house. I ain't gonna lie. When my sisters had boyfriends, I'm like none of them fools. I disrespected everybody who came over here because I feel like I feel like this is my house. This is my house. Y'all don't come over. You gotta earn to come in this house. And that's just how I was. And but yeah, my childhood was very interesting, man. It was very interesting. But like I said, my mom was there for me. I want to do a lot of things on my own, to learn on my own. And when I did need her help, she was there for me. You know what I'm saying? So, but now I looked at other males in my neighborhood, different fathers in my neighborhood to see, I see what they did with their wives and how they treat their kids and things like that. And I was like, okay, I didn't have my father, but I had common sense and learned those different things from other males. Things that I didn't want to, be like, I don't want to be no man, no woman beater or no alcoholic or, I want to have a job. I want to do stuff for my own, stuff like that. So that's what I use for me. And that was just me, how I raised myself.
Cool. So with that being said, so we've acknowledged those, and they said you can actually change them as well. But but it says over 25% of adults have this attachment style, which is, and I know Bree loves percentages, so I know that she's kind of like, that's 25 of 100. So it's like 25% of us have this attachment style. Now, with that being said, once you know this, let me ask you this, because we always talk about love languages. So do you think your love language and your attachment style coincide? Was something that would coincide together, that you should express to the individuals that you are seeking relationship with?
I don't know if they coincide, but there are things that can be discussed. But that means you would have to even know to even review your attachment style. Everybody knows about love languages. Attachment styles aren't widely discussed.
Okay,
I would say kind of, because I mean, like you say, if they even know what it is, but some people don't even know the love languages.
Right.
But I think that, like you said, it can change. Just because your love language or your attachment style is one way now doesn't mean that it can change later. Over time, or depending on who you're with, situations. Now, your personality doesn't really change, but how you express yourself can, depending on if you're comfortable with expressing yourself. Do you feel like you're in a safe space? Do you feel like that person will respond well to it or not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what up, Stucky? Stucky says having trust within your spouse is a powerful thing. Also, communication comes easy when you trust your partner. Kim Keita, all the way from KC. What's happening, young lady? Let's see. We were talking about old girl on the show. She said I love her. She's a bomb. And she brought this up because I know some of y'all are single parents. She said whatever the situation, she said you're forced. About the video I played, she said you're forced to take that role when you are the single parent. When we were talking earlier about when the lady said, if you don't want to deal with me, to say you don't want to deal with me, tell me what it is, and let's keep it moving. She also said, I think change comes with growth. That is a powerful statement. And I think the word that's in there, and then we can do our final word. See, I'm learning to get y'all off on time. The powerful word in that she said to me is comes in growth. My thing is, when did it come? When does it come? And I try to advise people, and then y'all can, of course, elaborate or piggyback on. The come part is the more important of the growth, because my thing is, when did you come to realization that you still need to grow? Or when did you come to the realization that you don't need to grow anymore? I'm 44 years old. I'm still growing every day. I've still had a period of feeling empty. Have everything in the world going for me right now, but sometimes I feel empty. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like there's something that I'm still desiring. I used to think that would be wrong because I know what it says: too much is given, much is required. So it's like, oh, I haven't got it because I'm what he requires of me. I'm not going to get that until I actually get whatever the requirement is. That's how I kind of break down things in my head. But what y'all think in that statement? What's the most powerful word to you?
Well, one, the old folks say if you stop growing, then you're dead. So we should never stop growing.
That's true. That's what they all say. Yep.
That's what the old folks say.
Nah, Lil Webby is pushing 62. Like for real.
Stop.
Look here, if you don't stop telling folks that I'm old, y'all, I'm 39 years old. I'm not even 40 yet. And for some reason, Greg think that I'm over here walking with a cane.
You're right. Before we got show, I want you to tell them the story what the dude said at your new school about your age. Go ahead. Not right now. Before we get off, go ahead. Continue where you was.
You see his face right here?
It'll be okay. Go ahead. Come on.
Anywho, the calm comes after the trauma.
But why does it have to be trauma?
Because how else are you going to grow?
Trauma does not always come. Trauma does not, in my mind, institute that you still need to grow. So there's not always trauma. No.
I didn't say that. The calm comes after the trauma. Then the calm then institutes the growth. That's not what I did not say that the trauma.
But I still don't understand why it has to be trauma.
Because how else, if nothing happens to you, how are you going to know that you need to grow? If we just living in this world in la land and thinking everything that we are doing is A-okay and it's fine and dandy and life doesn't happen to us, how else are we expected to grow? Just because somebody says something to you, until you live certain aspects of your life, you have no clue and don't know that there's some adjustments that need to be made.
So when you go ahead, Brie.
I'm adding to that, like she said, you have to know that there's a problem. You have to admit that there is room to grow. And, if something has to happen, because some people will live on this earth never thinking that they have to grow. They just know everything, that they don't have no problems, that they're never the problem. It's always somebody else. And so, like she said, sometimes it's just something just has to happen to light a fire up under your butt for you to realize, you know what? I got some growing to do. Like you say, Greg, you're still growing. I'm still growing. If you're not growing, you're dead. All that is true. Everybody has room to grow and be better.
Right. Like, how was I and I'm gonna speak for me. I didn't even know that me being resilient was even a part of me until I was put into a situation where I either was gonna sink or swim. And because you know who I am, swimming was not an option. So, but something happened. I got divorced, so I had to become resilient and a little bit more self-reliant and think for myself and be able to make decisions and not have to operate in the same manner that I was. And as a result of that, I'm not saying that the divorce was just what it, promote divorce or anything like that, but a lot of growth came from that. And not just in that area of my life, in other areas of my life, even at work. And, they call me killer at work. So
they call you killer.
They do.
Wow.
And don't misinterpret trauma as like something very like detrimental,
Yeah.
Having a baby, finding out I was pregnant was at first a traumatic experience. Like, oh my God, I got this person living inside me. Like, I'm about to bring a life into this world. I went through something, and then I say, you know what? I'm bringing a life into this world. I gotta do something different.
I can rock with you on that. I plan to have a baby, and at 6 months, when my stomach was showing and I was hot out here in these streets, it finally clicked. Like, oh, you finna have a baby. Oh, like, it's not that I didn't know that I was having a baby. I could see physically the changes that happened with my body, but it just didn't click. Like, it didn't gut punch me until like 6 months into the pregnancy.
Okay, and I'm still gonna say. So let me revise my statement. And everything y'all said is very, very key and on point. What I'm saying is nothing bad has to happen to you for you to know that you still need to grow. When I was young and I was crawling, then nothing bad happened to me to figure out, oh, I need to walk.
Well, that's the natural instinct that happens as part of the
really? So let me ask you this: how many 4 or 5-year-old babies have y'all seen still in the stroke?
But what you saying? You didn't know?
No.
I'm using that as an analogy. Nothing bad happened, but of course, y'all saying it's something that's
something bad did happen. Their parents did not make them walk.
Okay, that's them. But I'm saying when you were a baby, in order for you to get to walk, nothing bad. When you use the word trauma, people do that to something bad in your life. I'm not saying experiences do not make you want to change. What I'm saying is some of your experiences that make you grow are not always trauma. They're not always bad.
No, they're not always trauma, but the analogy
and that's all I was saying.
The analogy that you're using is a part of the natural progression of life. Me learning to be resilient is not a natural part of anybody else's growth process. You used an analogy that was kids are gonna learn how to walk unless there's some type of physical disability that doesn't allow for that to happen.
So what you just said, put your statement out. But unless there's a physical disability, then what you said is not always going to happen.
No. Traumatic experiences don't always allude to the fact that for you to have some type of growth, oftentimes it does. I didn't say all the time, often.
Okay. You lucky we ain't got another 30 minutes because we can stay right here and roll with it. I got it all for you today.
I ain't backing down off the challenge.
Kim Stuckey said, to be perfect, you must have imperfections to become perfect. You should have a strong desire to be perfect, but nobody's going to be perfect. But I did what you're saying, though. Kim Cactus said, how else will you grow if you experience pain? I just don't believe you always got to experience pain to grow.
You don't always have to.
But that's the word you use. You said always.
I didn't.
Did you not?
Okay, so give me an example where there was growth and it didn't come from a challenge, because trauma, it can also be in a disturbance. So like we're talking about the kids. Okay, the kid wants something, he can't get to it, so he want to get up and walk. That disturbs him that he can't get up and go to it, so he needs to walk. So I'm saying, like, what would your example be where a person grows outside of that? Because like I think we having some misinterpretations. So Greg, like, give an example.
Basically growing, you mean especially growth that has nothing to do with a trauma or anything?
Or a challenge. You can even use the word challenge, because I think you get
or a challenge, that's fine. So I could use me. So even with me, even when I started working at the radio station, when I started with a radio station, when I started Charles, now when we started DJing, it was with CDs. When you get to the radio station, it's a whole nother ball game. You're dealing with records. And I've known records. My grandfather has records. So you have these records. You want to be a distinguished DJ in the city, but you have to bring yourself up to that potential. This is what the deal is. It was not a bad thing. It wasn't a trauma. It was me having the natural desire to be, I want to be better. So that was my growth in my DJ world, from going from doing these CDs like we do now, and now I can take another song, another verse of another song, and put it with another instrumental that and blend them together.
So you overcame an obstacle.
Part of my growth.
So was that not a challenge or an obstacle or a hurdle?
No. But you said trauma. What I said, everything does not have to be anything bad to cause growth.
Correct. Everything does not have to be bad to cause growth. Yes, but there are challenges. obstacles, hurdles that are put in place for us, knowingly or unknowingly, that's going to inflict growth. Whether it is a trauma, a challenge, obstacle.
No, it wasn't no trauma at all. But it doesn't have to be bad. It's just when I say about triggers.
I didn't say it was a trauma.
I never said bad. I never used the word bad.
Yeah, she didn't use the word bad, but it's for like us being DJs. It's not going to be trauma, but it's going to be a challenge because you have to, as far as as a DJ, you got to improve yourself because new things are coming out. You got to learn new things. You got to put yourself in that type of situation because that's going to be a challenge, not going to be a trauma. I get what you're saying, Webby. I understand what you're saying.
Just like when I first started teaching, it's just like when I started teaching. I'm a special education teacher. I hadn't been around nobody's kid that had any type of disabilities. Now, if you ask me to start spitting off the 13 disabilities that cause a child to be under the special ed umbrella idea, whatever you want to call it, what puts a child in 504, wasn't gifted and talented, I could tell you all those things. I could tell you how to teach a child with any various type of disabilities, but it was definitely a challenge for me because me, like I said, either sink or swim, and sinking is not an option for me. I chose to want to learn and dive into my career and what I wanted to learn, but it was definitely a challenge. So like I said, I'm not backing down from using the word trauma because traumas happen to people and that inflicts growth. Challenges, obstacles, hurdles are going to either cause us to sink or swim. Because when you first walked into the K104 and realized that you had to do different stuff in order to DJ other than the way that you knew how, it was a challenge, but you decided that you wanted to take upon that challenge and make yourself better.
Yeah, but you mean I took upon the desire to want to build and impress, or as Stuckey said, to be imperfect, to be perfect, which there's no such thing as perfect. But right. I made the desire to push myself to grow, but nothing bad was happening.
I didn't say bad.
That's all I'm saying. But okay, so I'm gonna say this so we can do what I was saying. When I said something about insecurities, when people always allude to triggers, they always allude them to bad. But you never want, and then you would say that is the spike of why they get the attitude because you trigger something bad in their life. So when I did something that triggered something good in your life, why you didn't trigger then?
But we've gone over the word trigger, and trigger does have a negative connotation. No.
Just like your word trauma. Trauma can be a negative word, but why does something negative in your life have to institute you something? It's institute me to growing. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't say that. I never said that. I never said that.
Your word. You saw right.
I never said that.
Look, I said I was gonna do better. Okay, I'm gonna rewatch the show. Send it to you. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get the last word. I know we about 16 minutes over, man. Hey, we're gonna leave it right here. Next week, we're gonna get right back on this conversation. Hold on, I want to make sure everybody get the Stuckey. You had to fall a few times to learn how to walk.
That's like, what I'm saying. Challenges are part of our life for growth.
Growth is that's not the word you said, player. Grow is a natural, and you the woman of words.
You're right, I am, and I'm not backing down from trauma either, because traumas do inflict growth on some people.
Growth is a natural progression. However, trauma or pain makes it clear growth is definitely optional. Okay, Kim caked up. I appreciate it. Look, I'm good with all comments. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go by what I heard. And then when I hear it, then I give you another side to it. But it's why I like, we got this juicy conversation going on. We're going to put a pin in it right here because we're going to come right back with this same conversation. And on top of that, next week, man, we're going to talk about being bored in a relationship. If you ain't heard a video, I'm going to put it on our page. It's from the Carters. Lil Webby sent it to me. And they talked about being bored in a relationship and how effort plays a part in you not being bored. So before, you know how we do it, the last word, Lil Webby, I'll give it to you since you're on fire. Hi, girl.
Absolutely. So as I stated earlier for my final thoughts, growth can be inflicted via trauma, challenges, hurdles, and or obstacles. And like the other young lady online said, growth is optional because everyone does not have the desire to want to grow.
Wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. Brand new teacher at Bird Middle School in Duncanville. Congratulations, girl. Lil Webby, I mean not Lil Webby, Dr. Brianne Miller. Oh, I'm gonna get used to saying that. Instead of Dr. B, I'm gonna say Dr. Brianne Miller. Give us your final thought, ma'am.
Oh man, this is great. I know I've been missing the action for a little while, so it's been good to get back to the family. Hopefully our whole family can be back together very, very soon. Miss Roy, we miss you. Yeah. I really don't even know what to say. This has been a very interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation next week. And congratulations, Webby. And you're very welcome. And I would like to say I finally got my promotion out of the classroom. I'm now on
congrats, girl.
Yay. And so just moving right along. Life is life and love and spirituality and all that stuff has been great. So
wedding bells coming up, what's that? You say wedding bells? You say wedding bells coming? No,
I'm muting now. I'm muting.
So you do the wedding and I'll do the reception. Yeah, something like that, bro.
I'll be the flower girl.
I know who my DJ might be if you don't get booked up. You know, you growing, you might be booked up by then.
When I grow, I'm gonna set a place at the table for all of us to eat. Trust me, that's how I was taught. When our grandmama cooked, she didn't cook just for my grandfather. If you were there, she cooked. Now, once the food was gone, you was on your own. I'm sorry about that. Appreciate you, grandma. Lil Webby, Lil Webby can be the flower girl. You can't go 62-year-old flower girl. C Murder.
I'm 62.
C Murder, don't give it to me. Last word, big bro.
Hey, now good show, man. For real. Again, I like that. You know, to grow, you gotta be willing to grow. Some people don't want to grow. Be honest with you,
man.
They don't want to grow. They think their life is just perfect. But you don't. No, it ain't gonna be like you gotta grow. You gotta do something to get better. Like when you grow older, you gotta learn something. You gotta learn something every day. It's something you're gonna learn every day. But great show, man. Part 2, I guess it's gonna go down. Part 2. I don't know. Webby and Greg, they might fire on the.
Sorry, bro. You know what? I'm gonna take it out being Webby. I'm gonna go get some more allies and some more individuals. We can add to the conversation.
You gonna call Simone? Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm here for it. I told you, I was the dude. I got sent in the room with all the young ladies. I'm good. I can handle my own. I'm straight.
Okay, well then you get Simone. I'm gonna call Lil Mo.
That's cool. Call Momo. It don't it keep pushing, Mama. I'm gonna go get Spider-Man and watch him take violence.
Stop the violence.
Look at that face. So we're gonna let it go right here. My last word is, man, look, like Charles say, not only do you have to be willing, you have to have the desire and want to grow. You have to understand these tests and see your own error in your own ways, understand your attachment style. And hopefully everybody has grown from that. Like we see that we have an avoidant insecure attachment, and we can be very straight about what it is and what it ain't. And we hope that you can do the same thing with whoever you with. So I would encourage you to take the test with your spouse, your cousins, your friend, family members. This could be an icebreaker at a work thing. And you can actually use this as, like I said, an icebreaker, and you can find out individuals about where you're working at, how to mix and mingle with them, how to interact with them. I think it helps to understand the person, not necessarily always get ready to be on 10 and actually stab the person or have something, or as it says, be dismissive to the person because you don't quite understand where they're from. So my last word would be always try to grab an understanding before you ever make we should do a book study with our audience. Yeah, it's cool. Bree and lost my train of thought because Bree sent me something. She said we should do a book study with our audience. Okay, so Bree, I'll let you pick the book and let everybody read the book.
It.
And we can do it as we'll send everybody to Zoom, and so it won't be like on this platform, but we'll just have a whole Zoom call where we can interact with all our guests. And I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Slim Thick told me about it a long time ago. I just can't remember what it's called because it's another lady that does, and I thought it'd be a great idea for us to interact with our audience while we're offline, and then we can further the conversation with them. Pick one day out the week, and then we can actually hear your sides instead of just listening to your chat. I mean, seeing your chat. So we are growing. We are growing. 2023, 2022, man. Everybody is growing, and I am happy for it. Look, Web, you got my mama in here texting me now, talking about growth. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. No,
Did you hear what I said? Look, can we call it a sip and read?
Okay, cool. Look, you always trying to institute alcohol in the summer.
Sipping don't mean alcohol.
Hello, my name is Lil Webby. And
no,
anyway.
Sip can be your water, anything.
Oh, Lord, girl. I was born during the night, but not yesterday night. Oh, my God. She be trying. Anyway, man, look, it's been real. It's been fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll see you right next Monday right here on the same bat time, same bat channel, full 180, man. Of course, once again, thank you for being here. And until next time. And I do want to say this. We'll be switching everything back to Tuesday before Monday Night Football for football starts. So
yeah, training camp starts this week. Training camp starts this week for everybody. So it's getting close.
So the next 2 weeks, we'll probably be on this same schedule. Then probably after Labor Day, we'll revert back to Tuesday or see what day is good. So I want to make sure everybody knows that, just in case you see a change in the show or change in the time, anything like that. Once again, we thank you. We thank you for joining us. Other than that, until next Monday, man, on behalf of everybody here in the full 180, have a good night.
Peace.
Holla at y'all.